Good night and welcome to Teleislas News, the most important news of the day. A few hours ago, the National Navy announced the confiscation of 554 kilograms of cocaine valued at more than $18 million, which was transported in a go-fast speedboat. This drug was destined for Central America.
35 nautical miles from Sorinas Key, units of the Colombian Navy and Armed Forces Group, along with the support of the United States authorities, accomplished the confiscation of 554 kilograms of cocaine.
Gracias a una excelente operación.
In a joint, coordinated and combined manner, a maritime patrol boat of the Colombian Navy's Naval Aviation, an aircraft of the Colombian Air Force, and an air platform of the United States Southern Command conducted a detailed tracking of a suspicious motorboat transiting through the waters of San Andres. Once the course of the vessel was identified, a maritime task force was deployed, comprised of the ARC 20 de Julio Ocean Patrol Boat and a Coast Guard Rapid Reaction Unit to carry out maritime interdiction.
The crew of the suspicious vessel, upon noticing the presence of the military authorities, threw the shipment into the sea and fled. Subsequently, men of the naval institution recovered the 23 packages that had been thrown into the sea, and then they were transported aboard the ARC 20 de Julio ship of the Colombian Navy to the island of San Andres in order to carry out an exhaustive verification process. Once on land, Marines of the institution identified 554 rectangular packages that were inside 23 packages and, in coordination with members of the Judicial Police, carried out the homologated preliminary identification test HPIT, resulting in a positive result for cocaine hydrochloride with a weight of 554 kilograms. The drug, which is estimated to be valued at more than $18 million on the international illegal market, was handed over to the Judicial Police for custody and destruction in accordance with Colombian legislation.
The environmental authorities of the department called for attention to address the serious disease that is affecting the corals of the archipelago, a situation that may affect the fishing and tourism sectors of the islands.
Coralina Corporation, together with a group of environmental entities, are concerned about the new disease of tissue loss evidenced in the corals of the archipelago, where, according to experts, the findings reveals a very aggressive bacterial disease that can kill a colony in a month and a half to 2 months.
This new disease is much more aggressive. It attacks more than 30 species of coral. It changes the composition of the ecosystems. This generates changes in the associated biodiversity and therefore begin to lose some reef species, including species of commercial interest. Therefore, it affects fishing, and additionally, it changes three-dimensionality of the reefs. It changes the composition and affects the ecosystem services it provides to man. This affects coastal protection issues, so in the long and medium term, this will be a huge problem, especially because in the department we have more than 77% of the coral reefs areas of the country. Therefore, the challenge is very big.
Valeria Pizarro, expert in corals and who works daily with this disease in a research institute in Bahamas, is linked to the work to save the corals of the archipelago. Pizarro specifies that the antibiotics to attack the disease are expensive. For this reason, with Coralina and other entities, they are seeking initiatives to bring solution to this issue.
En especial lo que tiene que ver con actividades.
The answer, which is the use of antibiotics, has very high associated costs. In order not to lose the reefs, we need to look for resources. We started to do this with several organizations involving the most important governmental entities, ranging from the Ministry of the Environment to the corporations, among which is Coralina. We have spoken with the director of the National Park in Old Providence and local entities such as Blue Indigo, and we want all of us to join together to make a program. The call is very important and requires all of us. The discovery of this disease will change in the coming days the way diving is done in the islands, because this practice in contaminated areas would generate the spread of the disease when divers come into contact with healthy coral colonies.
And in the last few days, the National Police apprehended 2 young men who were apparently linked to homicides that occurred in the archipelago in previous months.
The authorities, through investigation, achieved the arrest of 2 young men who were linked to the process of homicide that occurred in August in the Backroads sector. It should be noted that through the work conducted by the Special Operation Group in coordination with Police, Intelligence Section, Judicial Police personnel, and the Basic Criminal Investigation Unit of the Protection and Special Services Section, an arrest warrant was issued for 2 adolescents in the neighborhood of Cliff and the San Luis sector. This arrest warrant was issued by the competent judicial authorities for the crime of homicide and manufacturing, trafficking, carrying, or possession of firearms, accessories, part, or ammunition. During the course of the investigation and with the work of the Judicial Police, they were able to collect evidentiary material elements that show the Sectional Prosecutor General Office of San Andres to establish the probable participation of these 2 young people in the commission of the violent events that occurred on August 30, 2022 in the sector of Back Road, Lower Park.
Judicial Police work allows the materialization of the arrest warrant for the crime of homicide against 2 young men who would be linked to acts of violence that occurred.
During the hearing held against the adolescent presided over by a judge for the control of guarantees, in the last few hours the arrests were legalized and the 2 adolescents were subsequently sentenced to detention in a private center.
Regional channel Teleislas will be part of a new proposal that seeks to exalt the country's tourist diversity through a journey that they can enjoy from their homes. It is the first docu-reality on sustainable tourism in which the 8 regional channels participate, called Ruta Colombia. If you want to know more details and participate, go to www.rutaporcolombia.com and fill out the form. And taking into account the wastewater discharge and garbage that occur in the pedestrian area of Sprat Bight, we talked to environmental engineer Johan Mancilla, who is supporting the management of this tourist area of the island.
Environmental engineer Johan Mancilla indicated the main routes to be taken improve the infrastructure of the pedestrian pathway, specifically regarding the wastewater discharge and garbage issues that are in the cause of the constant complaints in the area.
De mantener las playas limpias.
We are going to intervene with the shack plan. First, we are going to keep the beaches clean. We are already in meetings with the Veolia company to solve or provide a medium-term solution to the issue of wastewater discharge. And then within the pedestrian area itself, we have to be clear on the issue that many of these discharges are caused by infrastructure problems. And obviously, there has to be an analysis of the capacity of the design of this infrastructure, which does not mean that it is bad in its entirety. Fundamentally, there is another problem with the descenders that most of the hotels would have to implement. With the Chamber of Commerce, we also talked and we are going to socialize the issue with them, because most of the tourists that arrive to the hotels, when they shower, that sun is reaching the pipes, and also the fats and oils from different restaurants are clogging the pipes, causing the systems to overflow within rains.
On the other hand, Mancilla indicated that conversations have been advanced with the cleaning company of the island to increase the cleaning days in the pedestrian area.
Empresa de Transbuster también ya hemos conversado y hemos...
We have also talked to the Transbuster company, and we have done a lot of research on the management of solid waste that they offer in the pedestrian walkway, and we are going to see if we can increase the frequency of the days that the company collects the waste. We will increase the schedule in the mornings, at noon, and then later in the evenings at the end of the workday on the pedestrian pathway.
The official indicated that agreements are being made to initiate a socialization process with the hotels and restaurants in the area to implement the necessary infrastructure in the piping network. It is noteworthy that the efforts being made are not only in search of achieving the second Blue Flag Award on the island, but also to improve the image of the pedestrian pathway in general and the service provided to residents and tourists.
With music, dances, and songs, the ERC Gloria ship was welcomed back to the island. The commander of the ship, along with the crew, enjoyed the reception as well as the risals and residents who delight with the presentation of student sailors on board.
With great pleasure, children and adults of the island once again received the flagship of the Naval Academy, the training ship of the National Navy. Around 8:30 in the morning, the ARC Gloria training ship, recognized as the ambassador of the Colombian country in the seas of the world, was already entering the island through the beaches of Newball Avenue. Captain Jairo Orobio Sanchez, commander of the ARC Gloria, emphasized his satisfaction for the warm welcome with which they have always been received.
Venir acá es un privilegio y siempre.
Coming here is a privilege and always in this beautiful contrast. San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina will always be a great destination because it certifies the formation of our sailors, trains them, gives them the capacity, and makes them find themselves and the truth. What must be highlighted here is the human warmth with which we are always received.
According to the commander, the ship has 146 crew members, of which 73 are students.
Son jóvenes que vienen con muchas.
They are young people who come with great expectations, eager to learn, to do things well. And what better than this scenario where they have a very relevant historical maritime tradition. So we are in this place.
The commander extended an invitation to all the residents and tourists on the island to take advantage of this opportunity and visit the Gloria ship and discover its different environments. The ship arrived on the island yesterday, Sunday, and will be available and open to the community until noon on Tuesday, September 27.
And at the reception and presentation of the Glory ship, the young Rizal Islanders, who will represent the department in the National Beauty Contest, stood out for her attitude, beauty, and charisma.
The representative of the island to the National Beauty Pageant shown by her presence during the welcome of Glory ship. The 21-year-old Rizal Islander is totally shown on board the flagship with her 1.78 meters of height. During her tour of Gloria, she told Teleislas News how pleased she is to represent the department.
I am proud to say that I am San Andres, that I am Old Providence and Santa Catalina. My preparation has been a little difficult, but I have given myself to be able to offer the best of me, to be able to exalt and make all islanders proud, to be able to represent and raise high the name of my islands.
The young woman pointed out that she has the characteristic to represent the entire island region, the culture and the tradition that characterize it.
I think that I am a person who has all the characteristics that define the Rizal woman. I believe that my joy and my spontaneity can take me very far in a contest like the National Beauty Pageant. I feel that being myself, being that joyful island woman, I can achieve it.
Finally, she invites the islander to support her participation in the National Beauty Contest, where she will undoubtedly empower the territory.
In other news, during the weekend, the authorities conducted an awareness campaign in the Sprat Bike pedestrian walkway in order to control the different situations of public disorder in this attraction, where it is recurrent to observe the bad behavior of locals and visitors who do not comply with the rules of coexistence.
The Tourism Secretariat, in coordination with the Office of Population Control and Residence Ocre and the National Police, among other entities, conducted a tour of inspection and awareness of the pedestrian pathway in Sprat Bight in order to ensure a healthy coexistence in this tourist site of the island.
We are in an institutional joint work in which we want to generate spaces of awareness and education to generate pleasant spaces for our community and our tourists.
During the gate, one of the purposes of authorities was to remind locals and visitors that they can share without disturbing the tranquility of the companion, much less starring in shows that they threaten the integrity of others. At the same time, the Secretary of Tourism refers to complex situations that could cause damage to the physical integrity of those attending the site, such as the mishandling of power poles.
Este tipo de ejercicios de sensibilización busca.
This type of awareness campaigns seek to tag both with tourists and with the actors who provide tourist services in the pedestrian pathway area, seeking to sensitize them a little about the correct behavior in these spaces. The prohibition to consume liquor in public spaces according to the police code, the noise and the prohibition of loudspeakers at full volume that also bothers tourists who come. Desai also supported us because it is more and more often to find people manipulating the electric poles to extract cables with which they connect other cables and light bulbs. This can endanger not only the lives of the residents but also of our tourists.
Having a clear idea of who are and how many tourists are on the island is of utmost importance for population control, according to the director of IOCRE.
La idea es que nosotros tengamos claro.
We want to have a clear idea of who are the residents and who are the tourists in order to have a real population control in the department.
Lastly, during the tour, emphasis was also made on the need to use waste bins, the importance of keeping the beaches clean and respecting the common spaces.
With this information, we reach to the end of our broadcast, but we see you tomorrow at 1 with more of Teleislas News. Good night.